Hey Moonbeams, I wanted to make a video showing you how to pull up free charts and save charts in astro.com. They made some updates to their website, nothing in the formatting, but just how it looks, bringing it into the current day. It used to look a little bit more 1990s website than this. They still have a lot of ads, which is why it's free. But otherwise, it looks prettier and cleaner, but they did move some things around. So I just wanted to come in here and walk you through how to set this up again. So astro.com is the website. You're going to go to astro.com. It's going to bring you to this page. I recommend for setting up, obviously you can log in once you're ready to go. But I'm going to show you how to do that first. So the way I do it is clicking these little bars, moving over here to free horoscopes, clicking horoscope drawings and data, and then extended chart selection. And then it's going to bring you, because you're not logged in, it's going to bring you to this page. And you can use this as a guest user just to pull up a chart quickly. But if that's what you need, I would definitely recommend using the Chani website, chaninicklaus.com, which is the first example I gave. So I would go back to that. That website is already formatted to whole sign houses, and it's really simple and easy, and it doesn't have all this extra information, but it doesn't allow you to save charts. So if you don't want to do that anyway, that's definitely going to be an easier choice. The cool thing about astro.com is that it gives you the option to save up to 100 charts in your free account. So that is a really great option. So you're going to click please log in, and then you're going to click create a free registered user profile. It's going to tell you about its data privacy options. Okay. And then you're just going to enter your information. You do want to put none here. It doesn't require that. There's some kind of old-fashioned stuff in here sometimes that I think is, well, I try to think it's cute, but it's kind of annoying. So just to forewarn you, there's some stuff like that here. So then once you enter all this information, it's going to bring you into the first page, and you're going to want to enter your data. But because I already have an account, I'm just going to log in. Whoops. I got a little handsy there. Okay, and so this is the page it's going to bring you to once you create your account, except you're not going to see any charts here. So the first thing you're going to want to do is enter add new Astro data. And then most of us enter our own charts first, but you can also just enter anyone's chart information here that you have. I apologize about the gender thing. We've sent many messages, and you can do that also, letting them know that we don't really need this as an option. We could just have human or event. These are different. So if you don't identify as female or male, don't just click event, because you're going to get a slightly different bit of information. So you want to choose one or the other. And yes, they could add non-binary here if I don't know why they didn't do this when they made the updates, but again, more messages saying this is stupid would be welcomed. You're going to enter the birth date, the month, the year, the time, okay, and the minutes if you have them, hopefully. Leave this, don't mess with that. That's for a whole other thing. And then just note, when you enter a birth city, it's going to bring up every place that has that. And then you might see, like, there's Portland, Oregon. This is the one you want to choose. But for really big cities like New York and Atlanta and LA, you might see 6 or 7 options. And it's okay to just choose one. It's not going to change so drastically the latitude and longitude. As you can see, these are all pretty much the same. This isn't going to change the chart. Like, these little tiny differences isn't going to change the chart much. So just notice that you want to make sure you do have the right place, because obviously there's so many Portlands. You don't want to just choose the first one. You want to make sure you have the state information. Now I already have these entered, so we're just going to go back here, and then you'll see all of your charts listed. So just to walk through that again, when you log in again and you already have your account, in here. Then you're going to click the little bars of the menu here, free horoscopes, horoscope drawing and data, extended chart selection. And then it's going to bring you here. And then you can see your options here in the drop down menu. Okay. So that's my favorite way to get in because it just gets you right where you need to go. There are other ways to look up the charts and feel free to poke around in there. And then the next thing you want to do once you've got your chart information entered and you're ready to look at the charts, you don't want to just jump in here because if you do, you're going to get something that doesn't look like what I use. And you're going to be a little confused if you've had readings with me before. But also, I don't want you to get in the habit of looking at this. This is Placidus, and I don't know why they made it 10 times more complicated than it needs to be. But this is the traditional standard default chart that people are looking at. Bless them. This is not what I use. I use whole sign houses, which is connected to traditional astrology or Hellenistic astrology. It is the most ancient form, but it's a lot easier in my opinion because it's more simplified information. So, oh, sorry, I should make this look how it normally looks here. So this is what you'll see when you come in here. And you're going to want to make sure that you do the settings, okay, before you click here to show the chart. So first thing you're going to do is click on options for zodiac and houses, and you're going to change this to whole signs. Okay. Then you're going to click display and calculation options, and you're going to click over here in aspects, you're going to click to Chiron, to all objects. And then in additional objects, you're going to choose Chiron. And again, you can see there are all these other options here. There's lots of other, there's the fixed stars, there's asteroids. Don't overdo it. Okay. You're going to see once you open the chart that there's already a lot of information there. So if you're not feeling ready to look at these things, I don't recommend it. But the cool thing about this site is it does have all of this awesome stuff. It does have all of these features and you can play around with them, but I don't know all of them. So if you ask me questions, I'm not always going to know. So all we want to do is turn on Chiron, and then we're going to click here to show the chart. Okay. So you should see the difference between what we were looking at before with all those other lines, dark black lines going in between all the signs. This divides everything into 30 degrees. Every sign is 30 degrees. Da, 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 da. Okay. So this is what we want to see. And then you're going to click save default settings. So now this is what it looks like every time. Okay. And then the other side thing that you can do if you'd like, that I think is a really cool feature, is click this with transits button. And what that does is it brings up the planets where they currently are. Okay. So it's showing transits for this date at this time. Okay. So this is not as accurate by the minute. It's not going to show you by the minute where everything is. You can't like click through to move these, but it does give you a general idea that, you know, this person is like Mercury and the sun are getting close to their Neptune. It looks like Venus is on their midheaven. Saturn is on the sun. Jupiter is on their Mercury. Chiron is on their moon. This person, this is not my chart actually, is having a lot of transits. I am also having them, but, and Uranus on Mars and the ascendant, like you can start to Google like, oh, the moon is on their Pluto. You can start to look up these transits to get a better indicator of like what is going on for them. And then you can see we turned on all aspects. So then it's making lines between everything in the chart. And then the other things I want to point out, which is true for many of the free sites or many of the applications, is that they don't always draw the polarity of some of the points, things that are not planets, like the angles and the nodes. So you kind of need to know to look these up. So here's the ascendant. This is what makes this person a Taurus rising. But then right across from here, you'll see these little blue lines. This is where the descendant is. So you have to remember there should be a little DC here. And if you print these out, you want to draw that on there, but you just want to remember And then the MC, which is the midheaven, has a polarity opposite called the IC or the Imam Coli. And that is this little blue line here, right? So there should be a little IC here. And you'll see that in like the keyword sheets and the notes, and I'll talk about these points. So a lot of people's first question is, I don't know where my DC or IC or south node are. And this is how you find them. So then you've got the north node here, which shows up in the thing. And then always directly across from that is the south node. And it doesn't put a little blue line there for the south node, but it's there. They're always at the same degree. So if it's at 27 degrees of Sag, then it's going to be at 27 degrees of Gemini, conjunct Saturn in this case. So you can draw a little south node in there if you want to, or just make sure you remember that those points also exist. So that's the basics of that. This little worksheet down here, I'll just tell you what it is so that you know. It's basically the chart in a spreadsheet. This can kind of give people like anxiety to look at this. I don't use these, but you know, oh, let's look. Okay, see, so this is also showing some of the aspects that I don't use. So let's go back to chart selection. They changed that to be the automatic. That's very frustrating. See where that lives. Oh, here we go. We're going to want to also click only major aspects. There we go. So click here to show the chart, save default setting. There we go. We don't want to see those green lines and all that other stuff because I don't read those aspects. Not that they don't exist, but it's just not part of a traditional astrology process. So this makes it look a lot cleaner. I'm surprised I didn't notice that before. So we just want to see red and blue lines, and then we just want to see this. So we're going to put in with transits and then save. Boop. Okay, so now we see similar information, but we don't have all those other aspects mixed in here. So this just tells you exactly what degree and sign each one of the planets is in. So you've got in 8 degree Aquarius sun. Okay, so it's just doing that all the way down. The usefulness of this is the little R after some of the planets means that those planets were retrograde. So this person was born under Venus retrograde. You can also see and a Saturn retrograde and a Pluto retrograde, but you can also see them here. They put a little R after the planets that are retrograde, but it's hard to see them. So I always just come down here and take a look. And then this lists all the aspects that are happening. So this is saying that the sun is square Mars. So you can see that here, the sun, and then there's a red line square Mars. Okay. And then trine is this longer trine energy here. Okay. And then sextiles are the shorter blue lines. And then oppositions are the across from each other, red lines. And again, this is like next level astro information. But if you wanted to Google stuff, this is a great way to figure out what you need to Google. So you can Google like sun square Mars, sun in Aquarius square Mars in Taurus, Mars in the first house square, sun in the 10th house, and just see what comes up. Again, you know, Googling, you should know by now to Google at your own risk. If stuff doesn't sound right or doesn't seem right to you, it's not right, just ignore it. I'm happy to answer questions if you Google something and you get sort of freaked out or confused. And then this little chart is just, this little guy is kind of fun because it gives you just extra information. So what these mean is cardinal, fixed, and mutable. Again, those are described in the keyword sheets that I've shared. And that is should be available in the Astro resources circle. If you haven't joined that, you definitely want to. And then this is fire, air, earth, and water. Okay, So this is just interesting. And again, if you're doing the Astro 101 workshop, this is really helpful way to see what is going on. And so for this person, you can see this person is water deficient. They have a water void, like they have no planets in water signs. So we see Scorpio has nothing. I mean, the descendant is here. So this, again, maybe it's a fault of this not counting that, because they would have the descendant and they do have the IC, but those aren't planets. They're just this part of the axis. So not having any planets in a water sign, not having any water is an interesting thing to notice. They have a lot more stuff in air signs than they do the other points, because again, this one only has Mars, because these are the two other axis points, the MC and the AC. So they really only have one planet in an Earth sign. And then they have, a good amount of fire, but really a lot of air. Most planets are in air. So a person with a lot of air is going to behave differently than a person with a lot of water, a person with a lot of fire, a person with a lot of earth. They're going to be much more analytical and in the mind and full of creative ideas, but may seem like they lack emotions or ability to process other people's emotions. They might struggle to understand why people are so emotional. And with this Aries moon, even more so. So it sort of helps you to start to see the chart broken into these different pieces. It's one of the reasons I really like this website, but I understand too that this can be like looking at, a foreign language alphabet that is very different from English and being like, what in the hell is going on? So ask questions, definitely ask questions. But the best thing is that you can save charts in here. And there's a lot of other really cool stuff that you can do with the charts that you have collectively. Okay, I think that's good for now. I don't want to overdo it. You can print these. You can use their print chart option to print it, or just print the screen. I highly recommend printing them out or drawing them instead. Taking one of my blank chart sheets and drawing them. Drawing charts is it is an act of magic. So rather than print them, you can also draw them. All right, I think that's it.